Hello guys, our today's topic is atomic structure. In this, we'll be able to tell the structure of an atom. Learning points, we'll be able to tell the three subatomic particles, describe the key features of subatomic particles, and we'll be able to explain the electronic configuration in atoms. Looking at the atoms, atoms are the building blocks of everything. Elements are made from only one type of atom. Example, gold is made up of gold atoms and oxygen is made up of oxygen atoms, both of which are completely specific and unique to the element. If we consider, for example, a gold bar, this gold bar has atoms of only gold, and the property of this gold atom will be unique and specific. If we talk about oxygen, oxygen is made up of only oxygen atom. That's it. No other atom will be there. And the oxygen will be having completely different and specific properties in compared to all the other atoms, for example, of gold or silver or any of the atoms. Now we come to the subatomic particles. Anything that is smaller than atom is called subatomic particle. All right. Now there are three subatomic particles which an atom is composed of: protons, neutrons, and electrons. First, we'll move to protons. Protons are subatomic particles that are positively charged. It has positive charge on it. Just remember P for proton and P for positive. Located in the nucleus. This is the nucleus which has protons in it, the black ones. Okay. Known to have a relative weight of 1. Just remember this thing. Okay. It has weight of 1, relative weight of 1. Then comes the neutrons. Neutrons are subatomic particles that are neutral. N for neutron and N for neutral. Okay. It is also located in the nucleus. These yellow colored ones are depicted as neutrons. It also has a relative weight of 1. Protons also had a relative weight of 1. Similarly, neutrons also have relative weight of 1. Moving to electrons, electrons are the subatomic particles that are negatively charged. So, electrons are negatively charged and they are located in energy shells or orbits. This is the energy shell or orbit. The electrons are located in here. They are revolving around the nucleus. Now, proton relative mass was 1, neutrons relative mass was 1. For electrons, the relative mass is 0.0005, which is negligible. So we count it as 0. Now, electrons are located in shells, also known as energy levels. And just remember this thing that nucleus is only one. There is only one nucleus in an atom, but the shells can be many, like first shell, second shell, there might be a third shell as well, fourth shell as well. And there is a rule that only 2 electrons can be filled in the first shell. Only 8 electrons can be filled in the second shell. And if there is a third shell, only 8 electrons can be filled in the third shell. Also, when the first shell is not completed, you cannot fill electrons in the second shell. So always first shell has to be completed or fully filled with 2 electrons, then only you can fill the next electron in the second shell. Similarly, 8 electrons have to be filled in the second shell so that you can start filling in the third shell. So you can read it here. It is written 2 electrons can occupy the first shell, 8 electrons can occupy the second shell, and 8 electrons can occupy the third shell. The earlier shell must be filled before the next shell can be occupied. Always remember that each element has different number of subatomic particles. Like oxygen will have 8 electrons, 8 protons and 8 neutrons, whereas some other element, suppose fluorine, it might have different number of electrons, different number of protons and different number of neutrons. So all the elements will be having different number of subatomic particles. It's a question time for you now. Can you name the 3 subatomic particles? Just pause the video, answer and check in the next one. If you answered that protons, neutrons and electrons are the subatomic particles, then you are absolutely correct. Just pat yourself on the back and be proud that you learned something new today. So, what an atom is? Atom is comprised of a nucleus which has protons and neutrons in it, and electrons which are revolving in the shells around the nucleus. Now let's check. In this, you have to tell me about proton, neutron, and electron, where they are located in the atom, what is the charge of them, and what is the relative weight. Pause the video, take your time. If you have answered that protons are present in nucleus with a positive charge and a relative weight 1, you are correct. Neutrons are in the nucleus with a charge 0 on it with a relative weight 1. You're correct. And electrons are present in shells or energy levels or orbits with a charge minus or negative and a relative weight of 0. You are absolutely correct. Even if you write 0.0005, it is also correct. Since we know now what an atom consists of, we can tell the physical properties of an atom. An atom has no electrical charge. It means that the atom is neutral. Why? Because the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Protons were positive and electrons were negative. So basically, positive charge is cancelling out the effect of negative charge. Hence, the atom is neutral. For example, consider beryllium. It has 4 protons, that is 4 positive charge, 4 electrons, that is 4 negative charge, and 5 neutrons. Neutrons are neutral, okay? So 4 positive cancel out 4 negative electrons, and neutrons have no charge, so they don't affect the overall charge. So positive cancels negative and neutrons have no charge. Hence, beryllium is a neutral atom. Now there is a question time for you. Boron has 5 protons, 5 electrons and 6 neutrons. So what would be the charge on boron atom? Pause the video, take your time and then move forward. If you answered 0, the charge is 0, then you are absolutely correct because 5 positive of proton, 5 negative of electrons, they will cancel out the effect of each other and will have 0 charge on it. Neutrons are neutral, so they won't have any practical charge. Do you know an atom is very small? The radius of an atom is 0.1 nanometer, which is also you can say as 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 meter. Just imagine how small it is. This was the radius of atom. Considering the radius of nucleus, it is 10,000 times smaller than an atom. So radius of nucleus is less than 1 upon 10,000 the size of an atom. So you can also say that the radius of a nucleus, it will be 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 14 meter. Just imagine how small it is. Now there's a question time for you. Here are mentioned some of the elements. You have to fill the number of protons. Neutrons are already filled for you. Number of electrons and the overall charge. Pause the video, take your time, then move forward. If you think that there are some mistakes or you are not able to understand any concept, go back to the previous slide and then come to this one. If you wrote 20 for calcium with overall charge 0 because 20 protons and 20 electrons gave overall 0 charge, you're correct. Sodium will be having 11 protons, so 11 electrons. In this, while solving this, you need to remember that number of protons, it is equal to number of electrons, and the charge will cancel out because the number of proton will be equal to the number of electrons. This thing will help you solve this question answer chart. So this was the complete presentation for atomic structure. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.